Tucked in at the end of this week's double parsha is a halacha that, while it is unfortunately not practiced today, as Hashem b'meir v'yameinu, we will practice once again. Even if we don't practice it, it teaches us the Torah's careful calibration and sensitivity to us in formulating our religious expectations. The Torah tells us at the end of the parsha, the very end of Bechukotai, that if a person has Meiser Sheni, we learn in Parshas Re'eh, is different types of produce that a person is supposed to bring to Yerushalayim and to enjoy the produce in Yerushalayim. If a person lives far away from Yerushalayim and he doesn't want to bring his produce, let's say he's concerned his bread might rot, his fruits might spoil, so a person is allowed to transfer the kedusha of the produce onto coins and bring the coins to Yerushalayim and spend the coins in Yerushalayim on food and drink. The Torah tells us here at the end of Bechukotai that if one is going to transfer the kedusha of peros onto coins, he must add a chomesh. He must add 25%. So if the value of, let's say, his bread is 100 shekel, he must transfer the kedusha of that bread onto 125 shekel and bring the full 125 shekel to Shalayim to spend. That's the halacha we learn here. Why is there an additional chomesh for a person who is transferring the value? So we should give different explanations. The Rambam at the end of Hilchos Temura and the Chizkuni here in our parsha, the common denominator being that the Torah wants us to treat items with kedusha with great kedusha and great care. And if a person could transfer exactly 100 shekel of produce straight to 100 shekel in cash, then he may not treat the produce with the requisite sensitivity and kedusha. Therefore, the Torah requires us to add 125. There's a halacha, there's an exception to the rule that we just said. The halacha is, the Torah says, V'chol ma'asar ha'aretz, mizar ha'aretz v'pe'etz l'Hashem, hu kodesh l'Hashem. Ma'aser sheni is kodesh l'Hashem, v'im yiga'ol yiga'al ish mima'asro. If a person redeems, if a man redeems his ma'aser, im ga'ol yiga'al ish mima'asro, if a man redeems his ma'aser, chamishiso yosef alav, he has to add a chomesh, he has to add 25%. The halacha that the Gemara learns from the lashon of the pasuk is that if a woman is podeh her meiser, she does not have to add 25%. The Rambam and Rabbeinu Tam learn like this, that a woman across the board never has to add a chomesh. The question is why? If the Torah wants us to add a chomesh in order to heighten our sensitivity to the kedusha of these peros, the kedusha of the produce that is meiser sheni, then why is it that a woman who also has to treat her produce with kedusha doesn't have to add the chomesh? The Meshech Chochmah, here in our parsha, says the following. It makes sense that a woman does not have to add the extra chomesh. She can transfer, again, if you have 100 shekel of bread, she can transfer the kedusha of that bread directly onto 100 shekel with no additional 25%. A woman may not always be able to go to the Makom HaShevcha Bo Hashem. It may not always be practical for a woman to get to the Beis HaMikdash. She has family responsibilities. She may not feel well. She may be incapable of going, and therefore her justification for not bringing the produce itself, but rather for transferring the kedusha of the produce onto coins, is justified, and the Torah is sensitive to her need to stay home, to take care of herself, to take care of her family, to not travel long distances, and says for you, we allow you to transfer the kedusha directly onto coins without adding any 25%. This halacha is incredible to my mind in the combination of equal opportunity and sensitivity that it shows. On the one hand, the Torah gives here, there's a halacha here, which is completely equal for men and women. There's kedusha of meiser sheni. The kedusha of meiser sheni has to be respected. People have to be knowing kedusha of the meiser sheni, not to be mezalzel in it, to mafresh shuvas meiser kedin. Women, if they own produce, they're equally expected to do all the dinim that men are expected to do. And at the same time that there's equal opportunity under the halacha and equal expectation, there's also an added element of sensitivity, that to recognize that women shouldn't be mechuyav to exert themselves to the same degree as men if it's going to take away from their ability to take care of themselves and their families. This is a hard balance to draw, and its practical applications are infinite. But just to take away from the Torah's incredible balance of providing equal opportunity, coupled with sensitivity that we learn from this halacha and Ma'aser Sheni, to apply it to all sorts of other situations is indeed an important task.